I've talked about on the show, the biggest regret is not getting the playoffs. Like I had 37 wins. Like you look at the amount of guys.
That's a franchise record.
Tied, yeah. And like that's what always kills me. Because if we had gone the playoffs and I had 37 wins, I took it really hard not making the playoffs there. Like it really hurt me a lot, and I couldn't get out of it in time for the next season, and that affected me the next season. So I should have found a way to get one more point myself. But if as a team we could have found one more point, got into the playoffs and won a few games, pushed it to game 7, just something that year, I think that would have changed a lot of narratives too. And that would have helped me get through into the next year and become a Leaf for a long time. So while I'm still sitting on this couch here, going through my therapy session with you guys.
Clearing the Crease! Oh! Clearing the Crease! Aye, aye,
Welcome back to the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozune. Well played. He's the Calder Trophy winner, Andrew Raycroft, and he's got some stories to tell, especially after last week. Man, you got people talking, Razor, about the room with the wives and the girlfriends. Did your wife react to that at all?
No. I mean, she's like, why didn't you say more? Yeah, well, that too. But yeah, she would have wanted me to say more.
Spill the tea. Spill the tea. Alongside your favorite cup winner, Mike Commodore. Commie, how's life? It's hot out there, isn't it?
It's very hot out. Yeah, it's hot in Arizona. It's not much going on. My days are pretty simple. Been a lot of waters though lately, which I'm very proud of after that month I put together. So I've been very, very hydrated. Yeah. I've been back in the gym, starting to sweat. Thank you. Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little better now.
Ozune well played, Commie.
Yeah.
That's a well played.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be able to hit the gas pedal, but every once in a while you got to hit the brakes just to make sure you still
make sure you still can.
Make sure they still work.
Make sure, you do it.
That is the key to life, just in case.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's dry January or dry March or dry September. Sometimes it's good to just take a few weeks and make sure that you can still do it. Regulation, yes. Yep. Okay, just a quick reminder, everybody. Coming up next week, we have a great guest and one of Commie's longest tenured teammates, Colin.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it would be very fair, actually. Colsey would be, longest tenured. 2.5 years was the longest that I stayed anywhere. Colsey was there for all of it. Mm-hmm. I guess the only ones that would be a little longer tenured would be Eric Stahl, Cam Ward, and Chad LaRose, because I played with them the year before in the minors. So that would have been 3.5. But NHL-wise, 2.5, that was it. That was it.
Okay. There we go. So Eric Cole, Stanley Cup champion, former Montreal Canadian, former Kane, former Wing, former Oiler, coming up next week here on the Clearing the Crease podcast. A quick reminder that if you're enjoying the show and the content that we bring you between the podcast and the add-ons through social, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you listen in audio form, hey, leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. We'd appreciate it. And make sure you're following along on Instagram, X, TikTok, or wherever else you are finding us these days, because the Clearing the Crease podcast is powered by our good friends at Ozune.com. The clearest route to winning big is to play on Ozune, because Ozune's got you covered. All the props, game lines, futures, whether it's on the ice, on the pitch, diamond, gridiron, bear down, people. Make your power play, score big with Ozune. Well played. Okay. Razor, we got a fan question, and it marks an anniversary time for you. I want to get to in just a moment here. But things first, the economics continue to just be whopper after whopper after whopper. I know you guys are turning into those guys going, man, when I played, I wish I was playing now. There's no doubt you've turned into those guys, because I would totally be that guy too. But Macklin Celebrini re-upping with the Sharks, 5 years, an extension with a cap hit of $18.8 million annually. So the deal will kick in starting next summer. So Leo Carlsson gets the 1-year run as the NHL's highest paid player. But these are ridiculous numbers, what we've seen from Macklin Celebrini. 45 goals, 115 points as a teenager, almost doubling his point total, top 5 in scoring. And it's the third highest output from a point standpoint by a teenager in a single season, behind only Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby. This is insane. It's a 5-year deal. Is there anything to nitpick about? Like, look, Macklin Celebrini to me is the now, the future, the immediate. But is there any reason to be nervous that it's only 5 years, or is this just spur on more paydays here going forward? Commie?
It must be so exciting to be like 22. Now, in saying this, look, I think if I were to start a team right now, my first, and there's a lot, you got your Connor McDavids and everything. There's a lot of great players, but I think when you bring age and everything into it, I think Macklin Celebrini would be my first overall pick. Like, I think he's the guy that I would pick. But it must be, the kids are running the show these days. $18.8 million a year. I think it's awesome. I think that's great. You got to be sitting, like, if you're like an Adam Fantilli, like his contracts, like he's not getting 18.8, but like he's got to be sitting there thinking, what, I'm going to be making 14, 13 for however many years. And you're sitting here now, and I'm like, man, Draisaitl might be sitting there making 11 or 12, and now he kind of looks maybe a little underpaid. But I guess that's the price you pay for getting some security and long term. But yeah, I do think it's great. But yeah, I haven't said it yet. I don't want to be that guy being like, man, I would have been worth 10 if I was playing now. But it is kind of hard not to at least think it. I will say that.
You know why we're not there yet, Commie? Because it isn't an Adam Fantilli or someone like that who ends up getting 15. Like, it's been Celebrini, it's been Bedard, their first overall picks. I'm not in that realm, but there is going to be a guy within the next 12 months, there is going to be a guy you and I look at each other and say, Jesus Christ, that guy's making $9.5 million. And he is not doing anything that I couldn't have done in that league. That's when we're going to get to that point.
Hey, Razor,
right now,
Adrian Kempe. Adrian Kempe's that guy for me in a lot of ways. Like, good player, but
close.
When that deal went down a year ago, you're kind of like, $10 million player. Okay, good for him. But there'll be more. It's going to get worse than even those guys, Seaball. It really will. To the Celebrini point, he will be, without question now, he will be the highest paid player in NHL history when he retires. There's pretty much no doubt about that, because I don't think any of us are shocked at the number or say that he doesn't deserve. Like, I think we all think he is going to rival Connor McDavid, maybe not with the skill and the speed, but he's going to be in that class. With Sid, with Connor, Team Canada captain, Olympian, all of that stuff. It was funny, I was in the car with my kid, and he was kind of doing the math. He's like, he's going to have $100 million in the bank before he's 24 years old. Good for him.
He's going to have $100 million made in the NHL at 24. 30, it's going to be 250. He is going to be the first real NHL player that made real professional money. That's him.
Oh, he might finish with $250 million
easily,
which
easily.
in NHL standards is
correct. That's bananas
off the chain,
to think
right?
about. Can't even, like, 100 million used to be for Sid and Bergeron and Ovi. Now it's like everyone's getting that.
Yeah, no, these guys are. Yeah, go ahead, Commie.
I was going to say, if I ever host him on the golf course again, I'll tell you what, I ain't paying for shit, and the rates just went up. Whisper Rock round of golf went from $200 that I covered, Macklin. You're welcome. The rate's now $15,000 a round.
Oh, he owes you big time. Like, he's got to pay everybody back for all of that shit. You got to get a check in the mail, cash money in the mail's Commie. Fucking invoice that guy.
Wild. Now, these guys, because they're substantially older, but Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, both eligible to sign extensions now. Be curious if those guys continue to move the goalposts in terms of the highest AAV in the league. Nikita Kucherov's a year out from unrestricted free agency. I mean, if he were to hit the open market, like, what does he command if he were to dare leave the Tampa Bay Lightning? So I guess it's a question of anybody wants to have more of a flexible deal to allow room to win, but the goalposts have moved exponentially, and good for Macklin Celebrini. I mean, this is a guy you want to root for, right? I mean, he's the face of like every kid loves. These are the jerseys that sell. He's on the cover of the upcoming NHL video game. He is the one that every time you talk to a kid, Razor, you're at the rink a lot with yours. Everybody seems to love Macklin Celebrini. And yes, for all the talk that Connor McDavid is the best player in the game, I mean, Macklin Celebrini might be the most popular player. I mean, the smile, backing it up, the energy, he brings that youthful exuberance that people want to root for.
Yeah. He's a good looking kid. He gets it. He's figured it out. Connor's done it a different way. This kid's just more Sid to me. He just has that kid look, the competitiveness, the leadership right out of the gates that everyone, and he does interviews and he's out there and he puts himself out there. It's, again, it's a lot of money, but I think he's going to be one of the few guys that we're going to not worry about what he makes, like McDavid. These guys sign whatever the hell they want. It's just a different level. But yeah, the guy that really sitting back, right? Like Mario's like, Jesus Christ, I know I got a hockey team out of this thing. Boy, those are the guys that are looking back. Sure. Wayner's different too, because he could, Wayner can kind of print $100 million, whatever he wants. He'll just make a new wine bottle or a whiskey bottle and there's $100 million Wayner, you're all set. But yeah, Ray Bork, I bet I could call Ray and be like, what do you think? He'd be fine. I should have kept playing. Ray probably thinks he can make 20 million right now. I could still play right now. But yeah, those high-end old guys, man, oh man, they got paid crazy. Well, but
yeah, I mean, those guys, they set the foundation, just as your generation also set the generation previously to allow everybody to benefit from this and to see the money. It is a banana land, to steal a line from you, Razor, and good for Macklin Celebrini, because I'd say he's worth every penny. And just to bring it back to here in our neck of the woods here in Metro Vancouver, Canucks fans in a little bit of a tizzy, thinking that both Bedard and Celebrini, who are both from the area, are a year away from each other being UFAs in 2031 and 2032. So that's the conversation that
you're not in good shape out there, my beloved Vancouver Canucks.
You got 5 years.
You're looking at 31 and
32. Yeah, you got 5 years.
Problem.
You got 5 years to get this rebuild set for Bedard and Celebrini. Okay, I want to hit this one. I want to bring this one top of mind here, Razor, for this episode, and it's our fan question. We take a question from you, the listeners, and really appreciate all the feedback. And thank you so much. The comments just continue a tidal wave each and every week, and we thank you so much for it. But remember, use the hashtag AskCTC, and we'll pick a question each and every week, and we'll fire it at the boys and see what they have to say. So this week, Razor, this one's kind of geared towards you. We are up on the 20th anniversary of a momentous moment for you professionally in your career. It was a notable trade in the hockey world at the time when it went down. I could still remember it kind of taking place, but this one comes from Jerry Smithers. And Jerry says, Razor, my question is for you. Do you feel disrespected from the trade to the Leafs? Honestly, I would have made it to this day. Rookie of the year, Tuukka Rask was just drafted. You never really got a fair chance in Toronto, in my opinion. 20th anniversary of this deal going down here. Razor, your thoughts on Jerry's question and half comment?
Well, I think first off on the back end, no, not disrespect. I did get a chance in Toronto. I played a lot my first year, and I played really shitty my second year. I had a shitty, terrible year, and when you do that in Toronto, anywhere as a starting goalie in the NHL, if you suck the way I did that year and you don't make the playoffs, then and moves are happening, goalies get moved. It happens all the time. So from that respect, I get that, and I'm assuming a lot of people watching would maybe some people, I get that all the time. I really do. I get it all the time. I know if social media was around in 2007, it would probably look different to people, but I've never had anyone come up to me in person in Toronto or Boston or anywhere else and give me a hard time about this thing. So no, I don't feel disrespected about it. How I feel about it was, I guess at the time it was the best thing that happened. I mean, I loved Boston, of course. I love Boston. I live here. My wife was from there, like the whole thing. But
did you know it was coming? Did you know this was coming, or was this a surprise?
That was the year Joe Thornton got traded. Nick Boynton got traded a couple days before me. Like they were moving, they were changing everything. It was the year after the lockout when we talked about the $39 million everyone was making as an entire team. And the Bruin, like we didn't have anybody signed. Like it was just chaos. So went from that and went to Toronto. It was the best thing that could have happened at the time. I signed a 3-year deal, the whole thing. And then the next year went bad. Again, the problem, I guess if people want to think about it as a problem, the problem for me was the Boston Bruins got Zdeno Chara, and Tuukka Rask got to play behind Zdeno Chara his entire career, behind Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. Like that for me is like the one I'm like, oh, it would have been nice to stick around and play behind Zdeno Chara for 10 more years. That probably would have done my career better. And I'm buddies with Tukes. I play golf with Tukes all the time. I hang out, like, and I tell him all the time, like, I saved his career by letting him get traded. If he had stayed in Toronto playing behind what they had there, it's not the same. So again, I get why people say that, and it's a horrible, but I'm pretty secure in this, in myself 20 years later, to understand how goalie's pretty much dictated with what the circumstances are out in front of them. And I might not have been as good as number 40 here in Boston, but I also know that I didn't play behind Zdeno Chara in Toronto.
Razor, for context too, with Tuukka Rask being expendable in Toronto at the time, you also had Justin Pogge coming off an epic World Junior performance where he gave up no goals. And, again, had a blue line with Letang and Mark Stahl and Luc Bourdon, who was a high touted draft pick as well at the time. But he put on a show at the World Juniors in Canada at the time. So it was like, look, we got to pick between one of the two.
Well, no, and to that, so I don't, I try again. It's like collateral. Like I don't want to bring anybody else into this. And Justin does, he was a great kid and is a good kid, a nice guy. He doesn't need to be like brought into this. But I think that's a pretty good example of how the two different organizations were different. I bet Justin Pogge goes to bed some nights wishing he was the one that was in that trade to Boston. Right. Like, sure. And that's how these careers go and these trades and things work. But I can promise you that Justin Pogge's thought about, man, if I had been the one getting traded instead of Tuukka Rask, but the Leafs couldn't have given up the golden boy from Canada, because then the trade would have been really bad for them. At the time, I would have got roasted. Everyone would have got roasted at the time. Instead, they sent the Finnish kid who ended up being pretty good and then roasting them in the backside. But I think Pogge would have, he's the one really in this whole thing that's like, man, it would have been good if I had been dealt and been able to be in that organization in Boston. So, it's funny that the saddest part of the whole thing, Seaball and Commie, are probably like, it's 20 years ago now. That's the saddest part, because man, that 20 years went by pretty quick, and that was a pretty good time in my life, regardless of what was going on in the ice. Life was pretty good back then, and But yeah, it is hard to imagine. It's quieted down, I guess, from my point of view, 20 years later, maybe just because I don't really pay attention as much. But 20 years from now, there'll be another trade that someone forgets about it.
Fair enough. But you played, in hindsight, do you wish you would have had somebody to play with that first year? Because would you play almost 70 games?
I don't win. I mean, what I miss, I've talked about on the show, the biggest regret is not getting the playoffs. Like I had 37 wins. Like you look at the amount of guys.
That's a franchise record.
Tied. Yeah. And like that's what always kills you. Because if we had gone the playoffs and I had 37 wins, I think it would have been a lot different that summer. And then like this guy doesn't, he is going to be a starter, and I think I would have had a bit of a different. I took it really hard not making the playoffs there. Like it really hurt me a lot, and I couldn't get out of it in time for the next season, and that affected me the next season. So I think the big thing is, so I guess again, it's not fair for me to say one of the other guys I should have found a way to get one more point myself. But if as a team we could have found one more point, got into the playoffs and won a few games, pushed it to game 7, just something that year, I think that would have changed a lot of narratives too, and that would have helped me get through into the next year and become a Leaf for a long time. So while I'm still sitting on this couch here, going through my therapy session with you guys, the reality is that was a big part of it, because I put a lot into it. I felt like it was pretty close to a successful season, but we didn't make the playoffs, and I wasn't able to really take pride in it at the time.
Yeah. That's why, great story. And I love the honesty too, Razor. And, obviously the benefit of hindsight, but, I love how modest you are in terms of it's not about pointing fingers. It's just, owning the moment. But I do think that first year, it wasn't that bad. Like, it's not sustainable. But it's, you see it now with goalies. Like, look at it, almost every team, even in the playoffs now, seems to go with two goalies now. Right. It's just, it's a different game. Commie, I'll throw this to you for your trade from Calgary to Carolina.
I was about to say, which one?
There was a few. Yeah, fair enough.
At least you're getting traded and not waived.
But that was, I remember I was covering the NHL draft in 2005, and that was, they had quickly ratified a deal, and so they did sort of the makeshift draft just to get Sidney Crosby's name up there, because obviously he was going to be the generational talent. And I want to say it was day 2 of the draft. It was a small scale down. There were no fans there. It was in, I want to say, like a conference room in downtown Ottawa. But I can still remember that. Announcement on the podium, saying that the Flames have traded Mike Commodore to the Carolina Hurricanes. And I think it was a 3rd round pick at the time, correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember thinking, wow, that's good value for the Canes, for a guy who just had a whole bunch of experience that I don't know if you can put a premium on in terms of playing in a Stanley Cup and going 4 rounds and learning how to go through that grind. Where were you when that trade went down? And what was did you know it was coming, or was that right out of the blue?
I never knew any trade was coming. That's none of them. Nobody gave me the heads up. I can't remember. That was the summer of 2005. I would have been in Calgary. I don't remember exactly where I was. And I don't remember exactly how I found out. Like, I do remember when I got traded from New Jersey to Anaheim, I was in Minnesota at my lake cabin at a bar, and I saw it on the ticker. That's how
What? Seriously?
Yeah. Somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, congratulations." I'm like, "Huh? On what?" Like, "Oh, you got traded." I'm like, "To who?" They're like, "I think maybe Anaheim." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Come look at the TV." So I'm looking at the TV, and there it was. Nobody called me, nothing. Yeah. The Flames, I can't remember who called me. Somebody would have called me, though, and I would have been in Calgary for sure. I didn't know it was coming. My initial reaction right away was disappointment, because I really enjoyed Calgary. We had just finished the lockout year. I just had a really good year in the minors. So I was looking, I was thinking I was a Calgary Flame, and I didn't know anything about the Carolina Hurricanes. All I knew is that they were terrible in 2004, and I don't think things were supposed to look that good. But then when I sat there and thought about it for a minute, I'm like, the biggest thing for me was, I was getting up to, 25, turning 26 years old. I'd been up and down and traded. Like, you can only do that for so long when you're not a goal scorer before you start packing your bags and heading to Europe or looking for something else to do. So when I sat there and thought about it for a minute, I was like, you know what? Like, the Flames had, I'm going to get this a little bit wrong, but it was basically the whole decor from our 04 team was still under contract. They had Phaneuf coming in, who obviously he's going to play. So when I was looking at it, if I was being honest with myself, I was like, I was right back to being the number 7 defenseman, maybe.
The yo-yo going up and down.
Right. I'm like, and then I looked at Carolina, and Carolina had come a lot to watch a lot of our games in Lowell during the lockout. And I had talked to Peter Laviolette, and I had talked to, not about trades or anything, but I had met them, and, and I did have a really good year there. So I knew they when I got traded to Carolina, when I saw it was Carolina, after the 5 minutes of disappointment, then seeing it was Carolina, knowing they weren't supposed to be very good, and knowing that because we split the farm teams there, Flames and Hurricanes, then I was again excited. I'm like, okay, this could be a legit opportunity for me. And it ended up being that. So
no kidding.
That's how that one went.
I better put this so just to put a bow on my thing. Cause when I got traded, the best part about the whole trade was I was in Rome when I got traded from Boston to Toronto.
And not Rome, New York, I'm assuming.
Rome, Italy, with my buddy, with my wife, and it was 2006 World Cup. So I was out all night. I wake up to
Italy
like
wins.
19 BlackBerry messages. Like Jeff Gordon, the GM, and Shirelli, they called me like 4 times each. Fergie called me like 5 times each. No phone at all. Like, didn't talk to anybody. Finally got a hold of my agent. Like, what the hell? He's like, it happened. We pulled it off. You're going to Toronto. Didn't talk to anybody. Literally, like, didn't talk to anybody. 2 more days in Italy. Got off the plane in Toronto, in Boston. My agent had to call the Leafs and be like, sorry, he can't like come do the physical for like another week. He's away, right? Like, it was like all this like proposing. He didn't want them to know I was in Italy hanging out. So maybe that was foreshadowing things a little bit. But yeah, that's what happened that week. I got dealt.
That's amazing, though. Like to be able to kind of, you're half a world away. You're kind of out of
nothing. I didn't see nothing. And that, of course, there was no social media.
What a nice way to process.
No Toronto Suns in Italy. Rome, unfortunately.
That's well played there on that one. Okay. Wind down this one. We got a full length coming up next week with Eric Cole, but let's hit Don't Puck It Up. Here's my Don't Puck It Up here, guys. Amazon Prime. In Canada, it's the new home for Wednesday Night Hockey for the upcoming season, but that's not all. How about this? Amazon is also getting 2 first-round Stanley Cup playoff series, and they're also getting 1 second-round matchup annually. So, look, I get a lot of people already have Prime based on how many Amazon trucks I see booting up and down my neighborhood, but you know what? You're asking people to pay more for playoff hockey and pay more for hockey. And Sportsnet's already raising prices, and now you can't watch all the playoff action in one place. Fact is, you're making people pay more at a time that people are already finding everything being freaking expensive. So Amazon, congratulations. Just make sure you get it right. Don't puck up this package.
Hire Seaball.
Hire T-ball, yeah. I heard they play well.
I did work a game last year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Hire to get you in there.
Mike Rupp. I was working with Commie's old teammate.
Old Rupper. I'll go. I had 3 written down, but one I can't really use anymore. So that's fine. I'll stick with a hockey one. I had an Aaron Rodgers one that I was going to kind of go off, and I got nothing against Aaron Rodgers, and he's had an incredible career, but this constant off season, especially when you're down in the States, this off season drama about him, like, am I going to play? Am I not? Is there, who's going to beg? I'm doing this, I'm doing that now, but I'm just going to leave that one alone. I will stick with hockey.
Well played, Commie.
The Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago Blackhawks spent some cash. They went out and got Bo Byram. Let's see how that works out. I do like him as a player. Big opportunity for him. And they spent some coin. Even Patrick Kane at his age is getting paid big bucks.
Good for him.
Good $8 million bucks a year for 2.
Darnell territory there, Commie.
Yeah, not quite. Darnell makes a little more. But Patrick Kane, bringing back, what could be probably considered the best American player ever, and bringing him back home, so to speak, back to Chicago. So I'll say, don't puck this up, Chicago. You're spending some money. You're making some moves, which I like. Let's see some progress, and at bare minimum, be making the playoffs or right there. And let's have a couple sets. Get Bedard in the playoffs and have Patrick. I'm assuming this is going to be his last couple of years. Let's kind of try and send him out on the right note.
All right, I'll go to football, Commie, because I'm going to do this now, and I'm not going to talk about them for a while. And that's the Buffalo Bills. Don't puck it up this year, Buffalo Bills. You have the best quarterback in the National Football League. You've got this brand new stadium, and I'm here in New England, and I cannot have the Buffalo Bills not going as far as the New England Patriots for the 25th season in a row, essentially. So do not puck this up, Buffalo Bills. I'm not going to talk about the Bills again until December, January, when we get to the playoff time. I'm going to do it the first week of training camp, get it out of the way, get prepared, get ready, win the AFC East, and go on a long run, because I can't have Drake May being better than Josh Allen again this year. Don't puck it up, Buffalo. Don't puck it up, Josh Allen. And yes, those Chicago Bears are in the same boat. NFC, though, it's different.
Bear down. How about this old 1986 refrigerator Perry G.I. Joe figure. How about that? Hey, is that the nerdiest shit you've ever seen in a podcast?
That's nerdy. I thought it was OJ for a second.
That's going to save those stories for the next episode. On that note, Razor, thank you. Tip of the cap to you for going down memory lane and being so transparent and honest about, just the complexities of a trade. There's so many layers to it. And I just love how you with the benefit of perspective and all of it, really well done. And Commie, obviously, always, love the stories. And this is why everybody tunes in to hear what you guys bring each and every week. Just a quick reminder, everybody, to like and subscribe on YouTube for more Clearing the Crease content powered by Ozune.com. Follow along on Apple, Spotify, X, Instagram, TikTok, because the Clearing the Crease podcast is powered by Ozune.com. If you want to keep the shows going, hey, just remember that the clearest way to winning big is to play on Ozune.com, because Ozune's got you covered for all the props, game lines, futures, whether it's on the ice, on the gridiron, on the diamond, on the pitch. Make your power play and score big with Ozune. Well played. Don't forget, next week, Eric Cole dropping by here on the show. He's Commie. He's Razor. I'm Cebulski. Shout out to our producer, Stu Stone. And we'll see you next time right here on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozune. Well played.